Hey kids, it's JJ again with another quickie show and tell hint tip learning experience thing. This is just kind of off the cuff, which just about everything I do is. One of the things that we've all gotten sucked into, and I've made a lot of good friends through YouTube, you know, my buddy in Serbia, Nick, and Quadfather and Jim and all these guys. And it's been a really fun experience, and I like to share things that are inconsequential and things that are cool. And I think one of the things that we always get sucked into, at least I do, is the biggest and the best and the coolest, you know. So it's like, here's a purple 215 frame with, you know, 30 amp ESCs and my Sunny Sky motors, and then you've got the fancy RMRC with my gold Cobras and all this. You know, we get sucked into this high-end fancy stuff, which is all well and good until you crash the shit out of it and break it. One of my favorite builds I did, and it's on my channel somewhere, was what I called a half and half, where you had two motors normal, two inverted up here, and the thing was just badass. I flew it 3 times, and I got cocky, hit a windmill, one of those big, huge wind turbines, and just absolutely destroyed it. That was a sad fucking day, let me tell you. But anyway, one of the things we get sucked into is the biggest and the best. Well, I have to have an F4 processor, or I have to have 32 kilohertz ESC D-Shot, and I have to have this, and I have to have this, and I have to have these big badass motors. And that's cool until you crash the shit out of it, and then it's gone. So something that I advise you to do, and you see me build weird stuff all the time. It's like, okay, here's a quad I built out of spare parts. I turned into a Y4. Neat as hell. I love it. The ever famous EWAD drone. But one of the things you should consider doing is, if you have enough spare parts, build another quad. If you don't, buy a bunch of cheap shit and build a beater. Okay? And I just built one today that is nice and old school. Brought back some memories. Check that dude out. Okay? This is I don't know, I'm going to call that a 220 frame, I think. I'm not even sure. Who is it? Target Hobby or something. This is your basic, good old-fashioned QAV 250 frame, okay? The QAV 250 you can still buy, I think, I don't know, $12, something like that. I modified it a little bit, but this is my beater. And the reason I wanted to do this video for you is, you know, when you're, okay, I just started it flying in acro instead of angle, but I suck at power loops, and I suck at flips, and I suck at this, and I suck at that, or I don't fly through trees and gates enough, but I'm afraid to tear up my $500 quad I just built. Build a dinger. That's what I do. I call this guy, I call it the poor boy, because he's made out of spare parts that I had just laying around. I don't even know where this frame came from, but I had it hanging on my wall. And I got Racer Star 2600 kV motors in here. I've got a... Let's go through the pricing. You can buy this frame for $12, give or take. The motors are $8.50 a piece. Stupid cheap, right? I've got an El Cheapo camera in here, 1000 TVL E-Sheen, which I think you can buy for $10. I've got a 600 milliwatt transmitter VTX in here, which I think you can buy for $12. I do have an Omnibus F3 in here that I use in everything, just because I had some spares, so I threw it in there. A good old-fashioned $5 power distribution board stuffed in there. And that's it. And I put bumpers on the front, just for fun. And that's my receiver antenna, and I did my little split-off trick for my VTX antenna. And there you go. The only modification I really did, this used to have like panels right here. I left those off, and I drilled extra holes and put in extra struts. This thing, you ain't breaking that top plate, son. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This thing has 10 standoffs, aluminum standoffs holding it together. Now, it does have OSD, and it does have a beeper. You always use a beeper if you can. Okay, that's cool. But realistically, if you added up those prices I just put together, this is a cheap quad. So for stunts that I want to try to do, or just some good old-fashioned flying, And it's like, oh, I really want to try flying through that dam or that bridge or whatever it is. Do it with one of these instead of your, your nice pretty frog with your sunny skies on it, That way, if you destroy it, at least you destroyed something you already had or didn't even know you had. In this case, I just went through my toolbox and I found all this stuff. And it flies like a wet dream. You'll see it here in a second. I did stuck my camera on my hat there, and just so you can see a couple pops in the driveway, nothing fancy. And I conformal coated the whole thing. This thing can probably dunk in the lake and survive if you can find it. But it's just good math. I mean, I built this thing for me, nothing, because I already had everything. But even if you built it from scratch, you're probably building it for $100. And if you shatter it into a wall at full speed, and trust me, I've done it. I've hit windmills. I've hit basketball backboards at full speed. I have hit cars. I have hit roads. I've hit trees. I've hit gravestones. I've hit everything. And if I break this frame, I don't give a shit. It was $12. Actually, I think it was sent to me for a review like 2 years ago, whatever. Bumpers in the front, just because why put them in the back? And that's it. It's your crash test dummy. It's your stunt double. That's what I'm going to call it. And so when I want to just say, oh, I'm going to practice flying through trees in the woods because I spend too much time in the air doing freestyle stuff and I want to learn some racing stuff, which I really need to do, I'm going to use this. And that way if I trash it, and you know what's funny? When you build this thing, you build one of these, it's going to be like, this one will probably outlast every quad you have. You know why? Because you don't give a shit. And when you built it, you had that don't give a shit attitude. And it's kind of like buying an expensive pair of sunglasses, right? You buy an expensive pair of sunglasses, you lose them tomorrow. You buy some cheap Walmart jobbies, and they last you 5 years. And that's basically what this is going to do. So stay tuned for some DVR footage. That's just a tip. It really is. It's fun to do. Keep this one in the car with you. When you go flying, always keep it in the trunk. I mean, I don't care if this thing hangs on the wall. It's nothing to look at. It's nothing fancy. It flies really nice. It's got OSD, and it does its thing. And it's a top loader, so those of you, especially in other countries, some of my buddies, they're like, oh, I want top loaders because, and this goes out to Nick, because lipos are hard to get in my country, shipped in, cheap. This is a good old-fashioned top loader in his honor. There you go, Nico. Look at that. I even got bumpers on there. My camera's totally recessed. I did put that back so that would be recessed. And it just misses hitting this in the visual, I think. I haven't even flown at FPV yet. But thing flies like a scalded dog. I mean, it's Racer Star Motors, Racer Star 20 amp ESC running D-Shot with an omnibus. Everything's $20. $20. And so, yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. I know I'm not inventive. I didn't come up with it. But, hey, it's have a beater. Don't have, I have a wall full of really nice quads. And I have a shelf full of really nice micro quads. I mean, it's like, yeah, but if I just want to go out and I've had a few drinks in me and I just want to try to shave some trees or whatever, I don't want to be crying on the way home. So take this dude. Like I said, it'll probably last the rest of your life. So that's my tip. That's my advice. Build a learning vessel. Build a the student driver model. Boom, boom, boom. This thing will do everything my other ones do. It might weigh a little bit more. I'm not even sure what the weight is. Let's find out. On the scale that nobody can see, just for fun. 329. It ain't light, right? But my frog, 323, and that thing's high end. So let's see, Gobi, Gold Cobras, 334. Thing's lighter than a freaking Gobi, 329. So rock and roll. I put a lot of extra aluminum standoffs in this thing. I didn't care about my tower. You know what? I look at all that wasted space I have. Who cares? You're not building this for a showpiece, guys. This is just hey, I want to learn to be a better pilot. You will learn to fly better if you're not stressed out. So if you can build a quad that you can basically say, fuck it, you're going to fly better because you don't care. It's more fun. I'm telling you right now, practice on the fat chick, go out with the hot one. I'm telling you, it's good advice. Anyway, stay tuned for some third-person DVR, my little hat cam that sucks, and keep the shiny side up. And subscribe. Let me know if there's anything that you guys, tech tips or whatever you want to see. I've built zillions of quads, and I've seen about every problem there is known to man. So let me know if I can help you in any way. Take care, guys. Bye. All right, let's see what old poor boy can do. Old school. Nice.